Evening, everyone. Welcome to an evening edition of Bushcraft Out Back. Now, this video is not really about being off the beaten path or in the deep woods as much as it is about the darkness. So which prompts me to ask, are you afraid of the dark? If you are, would not go camping. I posted a video a short time back, and in that video I got so many questions and so many responses from people who said, aren't you afraid? Do you have a dog? Do you have a gun? And it led me to believe that I'm not alone when I say that there's a lot of people that don't like the darkness. A short time ago, my brother and I, or actually a few years ago, my brother and I watched a video of a program on TV. And the program was about three guys that go into the woods along with a scout that would teach them a little bushcraft. And then at the end, they had to build a shelter and spend the night in the woods alone. And they were absolutely terrified by this experience. So I called my brother up and I said, let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent the night in the woods alone? He said, sure. I said, I mean alone, all by yourself. He said, so what are you proposing, a 24-hour challenge? I said, that's exactly what I'm proposing. So we did that. He spent his night in the woods in another state. I spent my night in the woods here, and we didn't have any tent. We didn't have any sleeping bags. We just went up, and our goal was not just to survive the night, but to thrive through the night. But that experience alone taught us a lot. And if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my secret to being able to camp alone. So yeah, we survived the night. We got through it, and that led to a couple of other experiences. I actually camped out on a night on an island with just a Lavoo, and I began to stretch myself just a little bit in, just being out of my comfort zone, opening the shelter doors up, exposing myself to the elements, and began a journey of enjoying myself living in the outdoors. And I know there's a lot of phobias and things that people are afraid of, but I want to challenge you to get out there. If you're not out there, you're not going to be able to practice bushcraft, you're not going to be able to camp, you're not going to be able to do these things if you live behind closed doors. So I appreciate all the comments from everybody who comments on my channel. I really do. But it gives me a snapshot of what people are thinking about camping out, and if they're afraid of the dark. And this one video seemed to strike a chord more than others of any other video I've ever done. And I thought, well, I got to do a little video of camping in the dark and share some of these experiences that I've had. And yeah, don't be afraid of the dark. And I know most people are, and I'm not talking about the kind of fear where something bolts out in front of you or appears in the wilderness and then you're scared. That's a natural reaction. I'm talking about the kind of fear that makes you worry about that bump in the night or the sound outside your tent, or otherwise you'll never go camping. And I think we've been conditioned over time. Perhaps we watch TV shows that have built some things in our brain that makes us think about all the evil in the world or the bad that can happen to us when we go camping. And that is a program that we've got to get rid of, because if you're really afraid, you can't let yourself get you can't let it get into your head. And what I usually do is well, first let me answer a couple of questions. Do I have a dog? Yes. Does he camp with me? No. Do I have a gun? Yes. Why do you have a gun? Well, it's my right to have a gun, and I do have a gun. Do I take it camping with me? Well, I'm going to leave that as a mystery for anybody who might come to visit me in the middle of the night. But it is my right to have one. But I find comfort in the fact that if we put our fears into the hands of a loving God, then we don't have anything to worry about except an intimate relationship with Him. So that's where I find my comfort zone, is finding that intimate relationship with the Lord. And sometimes I personally have to stretch myself and get out of my comfort zone and do just that. I mean, even camping, people have asked me, why would you leave a comfortable bed and go out in the wilderness and live like a barbarian? Well, it's to get outside of that comfort zone and to experience God's beauty. And I find it very gratifying to lay my head down at night knowing that God's got my back. So I don't fear. I'm learning to not fear, I should put it that way, those things. So I want to challenge you that when you go out, and you can camp in a tent, you can camp in a shelter, you can camp with a pair, you can camp buddied up, but when you go out alone, there's just a special experience that you have, just you and God. And that's what I want to challenge you tonight, that if you've been a little bit afraid to go out and be in the dark and be alone, allow God to stretch you just a little bit. Get outside your comfort zone, and you'll find that personal relationship and that trust that you have to put in God in order to enjoy your camp out to its fullest. So I want to challenge you guys, until the next video that I put out, get out there and put God first and enjoy the great outdoors.